At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and an exciting new airport mall. Finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport. The experience will move you.
At GEBE, our commitment extends beyond utilities. It's about exceptional service. Meet the heart of the operation, the customer service team. With a friendly voice and a helping hand, we're here to address your concerns. Whether it's a billing question or a technical issue, we're dedicated to finding solutions. Your satisfaction drives us. We listen, we act, and we make a difference. GEBE, the power to serve.
And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to be. Tell me how to wait to go. Tell me all that I should know. And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to go. Tell me how to wait to be. To evoke some empathy. And I'll fall on my knees. Tell me how to wait to go. Tell me how to wait to see. Show me all that I could be.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Gay. What's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news of Parliament and its drama. Ay, ay, ay. All right, so there are a few members of Parliament from the Super 7 that left the island since yesterday, and some left today to go to Brazil for Palatino, aka vacation. Nobody gonna, try to tell me different vacation. Like, are you going vacation? Palatino have nothing to do with our system. You come back and you say we had some fruitful meetings with our regional partners, and then afterwards it goes underneath the pile, and you then prepare to go to the next meeting in Panama or Brazil or Uruguay, Paraguay. I feel so dumb when Peter had Paraguay right there, and I was like Uruguaying the whole time. I was wrong. So, when it comes to the Parliament of St. Martin, the president held a press conference on Monday where, she had to bring back the narrative of the Super 7 is evil and they are the righteous one, meaning the 2x4. And they have the best ever excuse as to why the two incoming members of Parliament has not come in as yet. The meeting is now scheduled for the 20th, which is convenient because the rest of the Super 7 is coming back to the island on the 19th. So since the intention was to actually have the meeting while Sarah was off island, then they should not have a problem doing the meeting on the 19th, on the 20th. What is a bit suspect is that the letters, the famous resignation letters of Krisha Heidegger-Martin and Prime Minister Luc Mercelina, we have them. So, as you can see, Exhibit A, Krisha Heidegger-Martin, our Minister of Tiat, this is her letter to the Presidium. Check the days and check the day it was stamped in. You see it? Let's go to Exhibit B, which is Dr. Luc Mercelina. You see the date that it was written and the day that it was stamped in. Now, besides the fact that May 1st was Labor Day and everybody was on Front Street jamming, there was a meeting that was held in Parliament on the 3rd, and in the meeting, you had Richard Heiliger Martin and Luc Mercelina still sitting as members of Parliament when their resignation had went into effect already. So, we need clarity. It's just that simple. Now I have the letters, I see in the stamp, I see in the days, I see in when it's supposed to go into effect, and it is not clicking. It's just not clicking. It's not giving me that parliamentary vibe. Sarah Westcott Williams with the excuses.
So, getting to the first point, namely affairs of Parliament, I had indicated to several members of the media that I would have convened a meeting to deal with the credentials of the 2 new incoming members of Parliament immediately upon my return to St. Martin. In fact, I had at the time indicated that I would have done so on the 14th of May, which would be tomorrow. However, it became evident subsequently to me having that intention that I do not at this time have a majority of MPs here on St. Martin. So I am looking at convening the public meeting for the examination of the credentials of Mr. Brugh and Mr. Kotai early next week, and probably it will be on the 20th of May. We have had the first meeting or the first public meeting to have.
Also, at the press conference, addressed the famous letter decree that was sent to the governor, Ajamu Bailey, where he was asked to send the decrees to Holland so Holland can decide on whether those 2 ministers, meaning Ray Peterson for VROMI and Christophe Emmanuel for Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, to come in as the 2 new ministers because the governor had refused to actually swear them in. Now, this means, and I'm going to say this so that you can understand how the system works. The system's very simple. When it comes to ministers or any type of law that has to go into effect, the Prime Minister is the co-signer. So he's the first one or she's the first one that signs. The second one to sign to confirm the law on behalf of the King is the governor. Now, the Prime Minister sends a proposed law or a decree to the governor. The governor in turn then, if he agrees and if it's in conformity with all the rules and regulations of St. Martin and the Constitution, he then signs it as a hammerstuk. How to say it in English? Just as a symbolic signature, just like, you know, to make it law because you need a signature of the king. He's the king's representative. The problem is, never, ever, ever in the history of St. Martin have we gotten a situation whereby the governor says, like, no to co-signing something, and he then sends it up for annulment to the Netherlands, to the Kingdom's Council of Ministers for decision-making. Because if he's not comfortable with signing something, the law then dictates that he sends it to the Netherlands for annulment, meaning to exit out, or the Kingdom Council of Ministers could say, Governor, you're being a little bit too high-strung, get the G-string out of your ass, sign this thing, it's okay, all right, you know, you was tough on them, all right, cool, we get it. In this case, the governor decided to be as savage as possible by just sending back the 2 decrees that was signed by the Prime Minister, Luc Mercelina, back to Luc Mercelina and say, no, I'm not signing it, look for other candidates. No. Never happened before in the history of St. Martin. You can't do that. He needs to send it to Holland. No. he decided not to do that. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to, send it back to the sender and you figure it out. But nah, I don't want to send it to Holland. I tell you already, it's not possible. Don't question me anymore. I's the king, representative. Therefore, go look for two other candidates, but don't resend these two candidates.
No.
Which puts the prime minister in a very peculiar spot because this has never happened before. So what do? You actually have to bring him to court now because he's not following the laws of the land. But this is new territory, so we'll see how that's going to work. I know that the President of Parliament gave a short little answer on it today during the press briefing.
I can confirm that right now, the matter of the two draft national decrees that regard Mr. Rayon Peterson and MP Emmanuel, that they are a matter of discussion right now between the Prime Minister and the Governor. And in this context, I want to explain the difference where handling national decrees is concerned in terms of the formateur. So the formateur presented the names and the dossiers of all, and even the draft national decrees. That was part of that process. However, when it comes to national decrees, as the Prime Minister, as the government, vis-a-vis the Governor, who has to firstly sign all national decrees, that's a different interaction. And that interaction with the government, who has draft national decrees, and the Governor, who has to sign, or if the Governor is not in agreement with a national decree, the Governor would then have to inform the Kingdom. He would have to send them, not inform only, send the draft decrees to the Kingdom government and inform them why he is not in agreement. What we have seen over the years is that before such action is undertaken, so using the regulation of the Governor, in which it is stipulated what happens if the Governor is not in agreement with a draft national decree presented to him. So that is regulated in the regulation of the Governor. But what we have seen over the years with the former Governor, and well, it hasn't happened yet with the current Governor, but definitely with the former Governor, a dialogue will take place. A discussion will take place. More discussions will take place because we know there have already been discussions on this particular matter. Because no one would want, at least that is what I think, that a matter such as this ends up on the table of the Kingdom government. That latter is my opinion.
All right. In other news, police graduates took the oath of office last week. The new officers, about 13 officers, started work officially as police officers, full-fledged police officers, on Monday. The first order of business, Pete, roll it.
Where over the world, say where, you find an island there, so lovely small, with nations free, with people French and Dutch, though talking English much, as the St. Martin in the sea. Oh, sweet St. Martin's land, so bright by beach and strand, with sailors on the sea and harbors free, where the chains
You see the boot? Pete, slow it down. You see the boot? Like that's worse than a butu. Like he just was kicking him in the head with the soldier boots. What is going on? They're rookies, they're police officers who just took the oath to protect St. Martin people. Let me tell you something, right? Gone are the days where you could just like kick somebody in the jaw quick, or jump kick somebody quick, or accidentally stumble with your butu in their face because cameras, phone cameras, it's a real thing. Mother, sister, brother, dog, cat, surveillance, ATV, every kind of thing. They have cameras. So how in the living hell you thought you would get away with kicking the ass of this young man and nobody would have catch it on camera? Because it was cool before, yeah, okay, police officers taking him down. But then when the brutality started, that's when people was like, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's not resisting. Or you take it easy now. Okay, he stopped moving. Or you take it easy. Are you supposed to know better? I know the training is a de-escalation training that you received from the Dutch. They don't have the training anymore before whereby, it's a wild, wild west and you could do anything to bring down the suspect. There are rules and regulations that you need to abide by, police officers, and I'm sure that you're going to get some nice words from your team leader and your PR office at the KPSM, and also your police chief, who's going to just shake his head and go like, but why? On your first day? Nigga. On your first day though. Like why? On the other side, the flip side, our good, I was going to say friend, but he's not. Our good foe, Olivier Arnel, went crazy about the situation because anything that happens in justice is Lyndon Lewis' fault from now on. Even though he's there for a week and 1 day, he's there for 1 week and 1 day. Lyndon Lewis is the reason why this is happening to every single body in St. Martin. What's more crazy is that we can blame Lyndon Lewis also for the sun being hot. Let's blame Lyndon Lewis for the schools not being prepared for children. Let's blame Lyndon Lewis for Christoph and Ray not becoming ministers. Let's blame Lyndon Lewis. You get where I'm going, right? So, can we stop? Let me give you Olivier first, and then afterwards, I'll give you my comments. But warning, jackass alert, because it didn't make no sense.
Let me become gangsters now, Mr. Martin, because the police them beating people on the road. Eh?
And it's hot.
Oi! We gangster. All eyes on me. Gangster boy, Tupac, talk.
I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the phone, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths.
You see the blows the police then get a by? Box up, kick up, beat up under the belly. I am calling for the suspension of those police officers. I don't care what that crime that fella did. Run up the road, whether he thief bread, whether he slaps him. I don't care what that boy did. You have to suspend those two boys in there. This is the bullshit that I'm talking about. This is unacceptable. You don't beat white people like that. I never see a policeman beat a white man like that. You don't beat the Dutch man like that. I want to put blows on a black boy. I don't care what he do. That's abuse. I don't care what he do. Nobody can come give me no explanation. Oh lad, he committed a... But the man was getting on bad like the man take the woman. If you're a police officer, the man make you run, you got to run. That way get training for run. Diffuse the situation. But I want to get on bad. And this is how Lyndon Lewis want to bring back all the police officers and former criminals back to work. Oh, Papa Bunji. Claudia Rogers, help me understand this thing, man. Because it is you, Lyndon Lewis, want to demote because you call him corrupt. I call him anti-man. I wait for him to send one eye to come look for me now. Or your best partner remove. You see me? It's because I want to be the Prime Minister. It's because I want to be the Prime Minister of St. Martin. Swaliga. Is why I behave myself an officer remove. You know? I take a late chuck off and a late box up and ling, you know. It's because I looking at the bigger picture. It's because of that, you know. Because they will understand not only this bad man. I have to respect your job, respect the uniform, do your job properly, arrest, apprehend. But don't beat a man like that. Don't beat a man like that. Because he's somebody's daughter, he's somebody trying, no matter what crime he committed.
But when the police beat someone like that, because they are not in control, because the police is not supposed to beat.
No, the police, they're not in control.
No.
They're not in control. Those are the type of abuses that I've been talking about in the community all along. Why don't go beat them Italians, go beat the South Africans, go beat the Dutchman, go beat the people. I don't go beat Maxudu Tiffin Island. No, I don't want to beat those people. I want to beat poor black people. I would like to know what this guy have done. I would like to know what the prosecutor is going to do with those two officers. I would like to understand what's going on because this is a hyper abuse. There's a whole lot of abuse. So Lyndon Lewis gone in India swearing, some people are keep standing up. All a bunch of mockery. And then 2 days after, 2 days after, is the leader they beating black people?
That he gave them green light to do that. Because if there's a new minister and you feel comfortable to beat a man like that, it's because the minister gave you green light.
Because the minister and Carl John, the chief of police, they have problems. They got fight inside. It's like two gang members. I know this was going to happen, Sabine. I know this was going to happen. This is why you see when Officer Ramu was pushing me, I diffused the situation. I don't care how much black belt he got. But if I really want to be Prime Minister of my country, he would have catch it there. Because you touched me. You have to respect yourself because a lot of policemen believe they're bad. And you see, when the country have a right, because they got abiding citizens like me, the citizens need right to protect themselves from the state. Nobody can answer me now what this guy has done to deserve the amount of beating he got like that.
Yeah, the man was...
I'm going to be calling Carl John.
The man was on the...
I'm going to be calling Carl John. And I'm going to ask Carl John, what is going on? Because this is unacceptable. Every single body in St. Martin, use your phones. Record everything because you have a right. You see a politician sitting with a white man, record it. You see them taking money, record it. You see them kissing a woman that belong to them, record it. Every little thing you see, record it, send it to me. Send it to me. They got to stop in Swaliga land. They have to stop. This government has hit the ground running by. Full speed by.
But you know what? I'm happy you're not part of it, because those people are evil.
Me, if I was part of it, none of that would have been happening.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
They would not be part of it. If I was sitting on the table, they would not be part of it. That's the problem. The problem is they can't do whatever they want to do.
No, that's why they didn't elect you. That's why they didn't elect you.
I hear Ramu.
Who's Ramu?
The fella that was pushing me. Is Officer Ramu. From Cool Bay. Only if you know you fucking push. Why let me leave that one there alone? Until the next video. Leave. He Lyndon's best friend. Only if you know you both. I give him grace, you know.
Lyndon sent him to push you that day?
I give him grace on the next video.
He's wrong. And so much factors that I'm not even going to nitpick everything that he said. But there is absolutely no way that Lyndon called these 13 officers and was like, yo, from now on, every suspect that you apprehend, kick their ass. Kick their ass. Come on now, come on. St. Martin, allow me to be the devil's advocate for just a couple of minutes before you get upset. And listen very cleanly, very carefully. In the past couple of days, we had daylight robberies. In some instances, there were persons who walked into a Chinese store with a banana, robbed a Chinese person, the store clerk, and was not apprehended. In Simpson Bay in the evening, same story as always, scooter, driving with two persons, with a mask, went into a supermarket, pull out their gun, took an undisclosed amount of cash, jump on the scooter, and disappear into the friend side. The other day, they had 10 persons that did a Ocean's 11 heist, went to Kipokoi, and they had a big robbery, and then they disappeared, and up to now, no type of arrest. On Monday, by the tourist location in Maho, the Maho market, was robbed. 2 persons, mask, scooter, went in, same thing. The other day, a young man was slayed, assassinated in South Reward, a residential neighborhood. Just after 12 o'clock, 6 bullet wounds, 6 bullet shots. He died. The other day in front of a club, the owner shot in the leg. Investigation still ongoing. I'm saying all these things to say, in one side of our mouth, we're saying that the police, they should have zero tolerance, they should make arrests, they should not be messing around on the road, they should pound the pavement. On the other side of our mouth, we see a video and we go crazy. Fire the police officers! Fire them all! Send them all home! They got no training! They can't do that to our people! Who? They don't do that to white people! You want to get robbed and shot with a smile? Or you want the police officers to do their job the right way? Don't get me wrong, but the right way. But we need to pick a struggle. Because for the life of me, I can't understand how we want things to be done for our safety, but the persons who are in charge of our safety are the biggest, how we just call it, crooks, need to be sent home. They took office, they took the oath last week. They just start. Mistakes can be made. However, don't demotivate police officers to do their job, because we well know they could go on a serious go slow without us even knowing. We call them up. Yeah, something just happened by my house. I think we're getting robbed. Yes, no problem. Just let us know. What are they wearing? Yes. Do you see what they're driving? What is okay? We're gonna send somebody as soon as they become available. Okay? You want to stay on the phone with us so we could just talk while you're getting robbed? Pick a struggle and pick a struggle fast. At the end of the day, a suspect was apprehended. Wasn't apprehended the right way, but a suspect was nevertheless apprehended for something, for some crime. What I do know is that an investigation has been launched. The person who was held and excessively handled by the police officers. Complaints were filed against the good police officers that just took oath. Luckily, I think they might fall under the don't suspend nobody, bring every police officer back. We don't want some police officers, people. We need to decide what kind of island we're going to have, what kind of violence we're going to tolerate, and what kind of police officers we're going to have. We can't do it together. We can't do it alone. We have to do it together. And the only way we can do it is by, I don't know. I know this is going to be far-fetched, but following the law. Maybe that might work. I don't know. I'm just a comedian. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
Hey, did you know I just signed up for Flex by Telem?
Do you mean flex like this?
Definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not Flex like that. Telem's Flex is a mobile plan that adapts to your needs. Each month, I get a preset monthly fee that has a set amount of data, SMS, and minutes. So I know what I'm getting. But say goodbye to overages and bill shock because when I go over my postpaid plan, it switches to prepaid. So I have the flexibility to top up what I need when I need it. I'm in complete control. My budget, my rules.
Time for your flashback. We have a good one for you. It's pretty good.
Flashback.
What's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news. The Minister of VSA, Omar Otley, and the Inspectorate of Health told members of Parliament on Friday that St. Martin is working with an old Dutch law that is outdated when it comes to the importation of medication. Members of Parliament called a meeting. Well, the committee for VSR decided to have a meeting for the first time of the year, or the second time of the year. They decided to have a meeting. And it was chaired, of course, by... No! What? Oh, it was chaired by MP Bryson. I thought I was ready for the worst president of parliament in St. Martin history line, and my script people didn't even... What? So we don't have MP Heiliger Martin in the news today? No? But I feel so weird not saying it today. Can I just stick to the script? Okay. The tallest member of parliament, Rolando Bryson, chaired the VSR committee today in Parliament. And in the committee meeting, it was discussed the reintroduction of semi-pharmaceutical products like Vicks, Bengay, Alcolado, and others for supermarkets. Of course, supermarkets are not allowed to sell those type of products for a while now because of the laws. The Inspector of Health stopped it a while ago. Before, you could go to a supermarket and just buy over-the-counter medication just like that, paracetamol and all those type of things. But that is not possible anymore because of the laws that we have. So the Minister Omar Otley gave a presentation and basically gave the reason why it's not possible. Interesting stuff. Take a listen.
The quality and safety of medicine for sale of the supermarket cannot be guaranteed. No verification, source, quality, safety, or effectiveness. That is it, Mr. Chairman, for this agenda point.
Thank you, Minister, for the presentation. I think you've outlined, especially from a legislative perspective, what the reasoning, I guess, was behind, let's say, these products that I mentioned in my introduction being considered medicine. So that part is clear. I'm sure there will probably be maybe some other questions. If members of Parliament, you can indicate on the speakers list or here if you want to speak. We do have first MP De Weaver.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Minister, to you and your team, to my colleagues, to the persons in the tribune, the viewing and listening public. Thank you very much for the presentation. When you were ending it, you brought up one of the, I don't know if we should call it an advantage or disadvantage of globalization, but when production, manufacturing and production shifts from, let's say, what we would have known from, let's say, our sole supplier being in North America to other parts of the world, our, acceptable levels of what items to import gets a little bit muddled because companies are international, they're global, they're located around the world under one umbrella name. So as an example, I will go off and list the names such as Colgate, for instance. I'm sure people have noticed when you go to the supermarkets here, you see different languages in them. Very often I've seen beauty products as well as health, like hygiene products, basically being in a different language where it's not even in English. And I know personally someone that was affected when they bought items from a supermarket, or doesn't matter where it is, where the item is a common day item, like a shampoo item, where it actually burned your hair. And you can hear a lot of stories like this.
Who came up with this policy that it can't be sold in the regular grocery stores and only pharmacies? Because my question to that would be essentially why? And here's the reason why I'm saying this, Minister, through you, Mr. Chairman. I think most oftentimes we forget that we border the friend side, that we attach to the friend side. In every grocery store, you can also get those products on the friend side too as well. But let me draw your attention to this. So we are talking about Icy Hot, we are talking about Vicks, we are talking about those sort of things. What about bleaching cream? I can go to Victor's and buy bleaching cream. Bleaching cream. And then in your presentation, you make mention of alleviation. I circle that, to alleviate. What about a cough drop? A sweet. It's to alleviate a sore throat. Where do we stop? But here's the thing, Mr. Chairman, and I brought it to your attention the last time when you were here concerning pharmacies. We don't have a 24-hour pharmacy. We have the one pharmacy in Maho that opens up, I think, until 10 o'clock. But take someone living all the way in Belvedere. They will have to pass all the grocery stores that is open until 8 and 9 to go quite all the way down to Maho to get a little Vicks because they want to get a rub down because their child catch a cold or a draft. But let me show you what is even more dangerous. If you're saying it can't be sold, or it should not you, but the reason for it that it can't be sold, you know how I operate. This is a product that has been banned from St. Martin. For whatever reason, I don't know why. But we grew up on Buckley's. But you can't find Buckley's nowhere, not even in the regular stores, not in the pharmacies, nowhere on St. Martin you can find Buckley's. Hold on. Buckley's. You know how I got Buckley's, Mr. Chairman? Amazon.com. Vicks, Amazon.com. Icy Hot, Amazon.com. I don't even need to go to the grocery store no more. So is the inspectorate coming to my house to check my online account to see if I'm ordering online? So that's what I'm asking. What is it exactly are we trying to prevent? That it can't be sold in stores and only in the pharmacy, or the health aspect for the society? Which one is it? It doesn't make sense. I went online because I realized Buckley's used to work for me. And I get it on Amazon. I can Google Amazon right now. This is Amazon. Vicks. Here it is. Vicks. I can scroll down and you can find Buckley's.
I think that MP Emmanuel has a point. Even though these days he's just doing a bunch of crying, like, Jesus, he ain't Savage Chris no more. He's like, Cry Baby Chris! That's gonna be my name for him now, man. Cry Baby Chris! Anyway, the one of the most interesting thing of the meeting was a suggestion by Member of Parliament, MP Bryson.
See, from almost a common law perspective as just an over-the-counter product, but by definition, yes, it is indeed a medicine. But can we maybe identify some of those? And then what the government can do is actually say, no problem. We have 100 supermarkets on the island. You would like that permission? Well, it's going to cost you 1,000 guilders a year to get that permission. You've just brought additional income to the Ministry of VSI and to the government. That maybe would be one of my suggestions.
Now, of course, his coalition partner and also fellow UP member, Cookie Bailani, was not for that, and he made it very clear. Take a look.
We don't want to be like a third world country. Let's move on. What points he raised up there are really valid. Second thing, what Chairman said, that income-wise, I don't want it to be 1,000 guilder. Ha 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 ha. You hardly sell these kind of medicines and you want to charge 1,000 guilders? No. Please don't get this into an income level, but yeah, a nominal fee.
Do not mess with the Indians. Do not mess with them. They're going to come for you, boy. You see, they was like, And you notice that? Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha.
What was that? What was that? I don't understand. 1,000 guilders? Ha ha.
Ha ha.
He's just like, you want to break government, partner? You want to break government? You crazy?
Ha ha.
Go into the business now and say, listen, all you got to pay an extra 1,000 guilders just to sell some Vicks. No, no, no. It was like, no, 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 no. Anyway, one of the biggest highlights, of course, of the Parliament meeting, the committee meeting of Parliament was, of course, the fact that the concern for erectile dysfunctions. No, I'm serious. No, I didn't say I have one. I'm saying that it was a concern brought to you by Crybaby Chris. Take a look.
Here's the part that have me conflicted in terms of how are we going to adopt the bones of that law? Because then, if you are telling me that the drugs coming into the country comes to a registered legal wholesaler, then who is to regulate the registered legal wholesaler? Why I'm saying this then, Mr. Chairman, because, Mr. Chairman, erectile dysfunction is considered a disease. Then I'll have to ask the Honorable Minister if he ever been into a sex shop. Because in the sex shop, there's creams, there's rubs, there's pills, there's all sort of things to assist in that. So then that's what I'm asking, because I'm listening to what is being said, Mr. Chairman, that's why I'm asking the question. Who regulates the registered legal wholesaler? Because I have to ask the question. Because in that industry, there's a number of things that can be used to treat what is considered a disease. And if I listen to the presentation, we are talking about supplements, ailments, all sort of things. Then the question comes back again. Who is watching the one that's supposed to be watching what is coming in? If you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Chairman.
Wait a minute now, MP Emmanuel. What's going on? How do you know what they sell in the sex shop? What's happening? What's going on? Unless you want to know what is allowed and what's not allowed, I think we need to get a specialist on the show.
Hey! Did somebody say erectile dysfunction?
Oh no. Oh gosh. It's the former Minister of Theatre, Stuart Johnson. How are we doing, sir?
I'm an expert, Andrew. Me, hello. Mr. Dick, I'm an expert.
No, I am not calling you.
Is Mr. Erectile to you?
No, I'm not calling you that. Nope.
I'm the expert, Andrew. Call me the expert.
Okay, so what advice do you have for MP Emmanuel, former member of the Council of Ministers, Stuart Johnson?
I think he needs to come for a consultation, and I want to talk about it.
Okay, all right, that's enough. That's enough.
Hey!
Yeah, okay, no, we don't need we don't need that right now. All right. So yeah, that was basically discussed in the committee meeting. Of course, another topic that was discussed is Member of Parliament Rolando Bryson also made mention of the fact that Alcolado is not being sold just so, and he made sure mention it in the meeting.
There's also another thing, especially from the Latin American community on the island and also others that make use of this product, which is agua de Florida. That has always been something from young that, we call it agua de Florida. It's very Florida water. Okay, I didn't know. No, that's the English term. Hey, my mother's Colombian and that's how she taught me it. But that water in itself is something that's was very common in the supermarkets, but I don't see it as common in pharmacies. As a matter of fact, some pharmacies don't even carry it. They might have Alcolado or different versions of it, but that specific one, they might not. So now it's not in supermarkets, and it's also not in many pharmacies. So if the pharmacies basically choose not to carry a product, it now has disappeared from the market entirely. So that is also a a concern, specifically that type of product. What happens if the pharmacy chooses not to carry such a product? Then it becomes completely unavailable within the country.
I know for sure the Spanish and the Haitian community is very happy with these questions from MP Bryson, particularly because, wait, what do they use Florida water for? We need some Florida water for this government. All of this whole government. Just throw it on them. Throw it on everybody.
Hey!
No. Anyway, no. So I'm just saying, like, this government needs some Florida water, particularly because, they need to see their future, see if it lasts. I don't, MP Bryson, know what they actually do with Florida water. If you only know MP Bryson, you would not be asking those type of questions. No, you won't. No, you will not. All right, let's see that. Let's hope that the government make it until the end of its mandate, because you just give the opposition some ideas. You see Auntie Sarah at night going like, government go fall, government go fall. And then, of course, you're going to have right next to her, the worst president of parliament in St. Martin history. Krisha Helaga Martin. Yay, I finally get to put it in. Yay. All right. Speaking about the worst, let's go on to our other topic, which is the question hour concerning the Minister of Romy, Egbert Doran. He was in Parliament and he was to answer questions concerning GEBE, our water and electricity company that is doing such a great job these days. Of course, the management of GEB was there. The temporary temporary manager of GEBE, Shireen Daniel, was part of that panel of the Ministry of Romy because, of course, it had to do with GEBE. The current temporary manager is on sick leave until further notice, and the temporary manager and soon to be CEO, if she passed the screening and she signs her contract, is Shireen Daniel. She made a statement, and that statement, I don't know, it gave me some Cruella vibes. You remember the Disney movie Cruella, the 101 Dalmatians? Yeah, she gave me like that type of vibe. I don't understand. Like, it was kind of like, Anyway, take a look.
As you're aware, my name is Dr. Shireen Daniel. I'm currently the acting TM, replacing Mr. Temer due to him being on sick leave until further notice. NVGB experienced a glitch yesterday, which somewhat caused a frenzy. And as a result, NVGB had to basically hit the media, put communication forward, and explain to people of St. Martin what occurred. What did occur? On June the 7th, NVGB proceeded to start to bill their customers as the norm, as we get back to normalcy. We bill the consumers based on two methods. One goes out via hand delivery with our meter guys. The second one goes via mail for convenience. March bill went out via mail as well as April bill. As well as March and April bill went out via email on June the 7th as well. However, what took place was that during GB's testing phase, we were testing certain of our bills, certain of the numbers, etc., etc., etc. And again, we had a computer glitch where a large bill went out to an exorbitant amount of consumers or customers, which somewhat caused a frenzy because that bill was the consumption of, for example, February 2021 to March 2022. Some was March 2021 to March 2022. We asked the people of St. Martin to disregard those high bills because, as you know, GB was hit with a ransomware, Black Bite attack. GB is gearing up to normalcy. However, we are having some hiccups. And at the end of the day, GB will continue to be transparent. GB is owning our shortcomings. However, again, this is a part of the process to gearing back into normalcy. With that large bill, there was a bill of March that came into effect that was emailed as well. There was also a bill of April that was emailed. Those two were correct. And if anyone have concerns over the March and the April bill, NVGB right now is open to the public. We have even extended our hours. We open at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. We close at 4:30 in the afternoon. We are also open on Saturdays from 8 to 12:30 because it's GB's intention to restore the trust, restore the confidence, restore the peace of the organization with the people of St. Martin. But we are going through hiccups. It has our utmost intention. We're working towards that normalcy, and we're just asking for your patience.
So, incompetence at its best. They continue to, of course, deal with this particular situation. I think that sooner or later the government can do much better when it comes to the management of GB. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Don't forget the softball competition is coming up. The It's Time Foundation is organizing it, and they are all over the place doing the right stuff. All right, that does it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one. Bye-bye.